Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Definitely not what I expected when I saw Aaron Nola versus Degrom. And I understand that it's not as if Aaron Nola had a horrible performance. He did not have any help defensively, but I did not expect to lose 14-1. That was disgraceful. What an awful way to spend my Sunday on my Labor Day weekend when I anticipated this phenomenal matchup to get embarrassed like that. It hurts. It really does. This Phillies team needs to be better. They have to be dialed in. The fundamentals blows my mind. Rhys Hoskins, you suck at first base defensively. Seriously, Alec Boehm, when it comes to a rundown, I mean, that's just simple. You learn that when you're 3 years old. Adam Hazley, we've been praising what you do well in the majors. You are a great defender. I don't know what the hell happened to you in the first inning. You take a bad angle. I don't know. Maybe you couldn't see because of the sun, but you need to be better than that, especially when you are limited in time. Just the other day, Bryce Harper, he got a rest day, and Roman Quinn and Phil Gosselin still got to go out on the field and play when I thought, look, this is a spot for Adam Hazley to be able to prove to this organization, hey, I deserve more playing time. And he wasn't in the lineup at all that game. I was stunned. Truthfully, I was shocked he did not play. You thought the matchup would be good for him? But no. And instead, he gets a chance in this game. And in the first inning, he takes an abysmal route to the baseball. The baseball goes flying over his head, and the Mets take a 1-0 lead. You got to be smarter than that. You got to cash in when you finally get to sneak into the lineup. You need to perform at a higher rate. The defense was so pitiful. If you're going to give a team multiple chances, if you're going to give a team more than 3 outs, I don't care if they're the Baltimore Orioles of last year. I don't care if it's the Boston Red Sox of this year. If it's any of those dumpster fire organizations, I don't care who it is. If you're going to give a bunch of Major League Baseball teams more than 3 outs in an inning, good luck. You're not going to win many baseball games. They're going to hit the baseball. They're going to score runs. And poor Aaron Nola. He had 10 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. Innings kept staying alive. He did allow a couple homers. He was okay. He was okay. 32 changeups, by the way. 10 swing and misses. 18 total swing and misses. I don't think Aaron Nola was bad by any means. But what do you do when you have bad defense behind you that forces you to stay in the game, in the inning, which you're throwing more pitches and then you're out of the game quicker? The problem is when Degrom is on the bump, yeah, good luck. The errors you're allowed to make, oh, tiny. The margin of error, so tiny. Because he was electric, topping out at 100 miles per hour. Throwing you the off-speed pitches, good luck. 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. He was magnificent. I couldn't even believe half of the stuff I saw. And I know it's coming. That's the thing. I know how special Degrom is. I've seen what he can do. He is lethal. He's going to win the damn Cy Young. He's special. I know how crazy his skill set is, yet I see it and I'm still amazed. I'm still blown away, even though I expect it to be as solid as it was. Now, I spoke about swing and miss stuff for Aaron Nola. Okay, 35 swing and misses. And it's ironic that the only person to be able to do some damage for this Phillies team is Andrew Knapp. Andrew Knapp early in this game, second inning, when the score is 1-0 Mets, he goes opposite field off Degrom. That's right, he hits a bomb opposite field off of Degrom. The only guy to be able to do legit damage was Andrew Knapp. Andrew Knapp also gunned someone out, stealing second, too. I thought it was JT Realmuto back there. It actually started out all right for the Phils, other than the Adam Hazley poor ball tracking. Bryce Harper got on. He steals second. He steals third. I'm like, all right, here we go, baby. Here we go. And I don't like his new haircut, by the way. He needs the greasy, long flow, so he looks like, I don't know, caveman maybe with the beard and the long hair. I love it. You trim it up a bit, not a big fan. He needs to have it. But I guess when you struggle so much, when you're not clicking offensively, you try and find any way possible to get out of that funk, to change your mentality. You know, these baseball players, they play every day. If things start to go south, they have to mix something up, whether it's what cleat you put on first, what sock you put on first, how you put your jersey on, how you enter the arena that night. I guess it's a ballpark, not an arena. You get my point. You try and mix things up so you can get into a different headspace. And, oh, yeah, that's why my hitting streak started, because when I walked up to the plate, I put my left foot in before my right foot in to the batter's box. You name it. They have to somehow convince themselves that, oh, yeah, this is what I need to do so I can start getting back on track. And maybe with Bryce Harper, it was the haircut. Or maybe he just thought, hey, I need a haircut. That's also in play. Because at some point, people need those. Maybe even myself. I went for the Flyers beard cut. Now that's all over with. The playoff beard. Maybe now it's a haircut. I don't know. But I do know that this episode of Sports Talk with Bros is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. And they are home to your solar experts. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. Make sure you check out their information. It is in the description. So it doesn't help, by the way, that the Phillies had 4 total hits while the Mets just went to damn town. And it's hard to get hits on Degrom. That is clear, unless your name is Andrew Knapp, which is still so funny to me. Andrew Knapp. Let that sink in. Andrew Knapp is tearing it up. He saved his job with this season. Seriously. What he did last year, it was terrible, vomit-worthy, horrendous. You can't watch that. That's garbage baseball. Yet here he is the following season, and he's crushing it. He's tearing it up. Now, I think it's funny. It really is. When Andrew Knapp does that, you know, of course I'm happy, I'm cheering, but I'm laughing. I'm hysterically laughing. As if Andrew Knapp is going to be the one to solve Jacob Degrom. Out of everyone in this league, here comes Andrew Knapp up to the plate, and he goes opposite field. How does that even happen? When Degrom puts on a display of, as I mentioned, 35 swing and misses, that's nuts. Struck out 12, 7 innings, as I stated, 19 swing and misses on sliders, 11 on fastballs. He had the Phillies hitters looking confused. They were dancing up there, locking their knees. I mean, that's what you do when you're an elite pitcher in this league. But damn it, is he elite? Holy hell. And the fact that he barely gets run support throughout his tenure with the Mets, that's pretty damn funny. Now, 14 runs in this one, I think he had enough. I don't think the Phillies are going to be able to put up that many runs in 7 innings of play with Jake Degrom on the bump. He'd be good with, well, 2. 2 runs would have been good to get the job done in this one. Unreal. I mean, just a terrible performance by the Phillies, and now back-to-back losses. This game with Wheeler on the mound on Monday is way more important now. Way more important. Not that it wasn't important before, but it intensifies when you go on a cold streak like this as a team. You got to come together, salvage this series, make it a 2-2 split, and head on into the right direction. Look, when the Phillies won 10 of 11 and they were winning 9 of 10, it was clear that they were going to dip at some point. But I mentioned so are other teams. The Braves might go on a little bit of a cold streak. And that would allow the Phillies, if they continue to play hot, to maybe move up a bit. Maybe make it closer. Make it a tight fight. Well, guess what, Phils? You can't be headed in the wrong direction, too. You got to find ways. Now, they're clearly going to cool off. It's not possible to keep up 9 of 10, 10 of 11. But you need to stop the bleeding. You need to stop the bleeding with Zach Wheeler. You can't just allow for the Mets to take 3 of 4 from you after you were the hottest team in baseball. And you got to clean it up. How do you expect to win it all when you play that way? I know it's going to be ugly at times with specific individuals out in the field. But why does it seem like there's always this big snowball effect when one thing goes wrong, the next thing goes wrong, and the next thing goes wrong? For example, the bullpen in this game wasn't good. Hembry allowed a run, which he's starting to scare me a little bit. Then you have Yovera come in. Woof! 1 inning, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Blake Parker, who's been pretty damn solid. There's no denying that Blake Parker has been something intriguing out of the bullpen. And in 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. So the bullpen was bad, and then it just snowballed more into the bullpen being bad. Adam Hasty was bad, and that snowballed into Alec Bowman a rundown, which snowballed into Rhys Hoskins over at first base. And then you can even argue Andrew McCutchen later on in the game didn't take his best game to the outfield. A little hiccup out there. It's hard because at some extent, I go, they're bad defenders. So what are they supposed to do in terms of Bowman, Rhys Hoskins? They're bad. So why would you expect someone who is bad at defending to magically be someone who's great at defending? They are bad defenders. Now, once in a while, they make good plays. Alec Boehm, it's like he makes an unreal play, web gem, Nolan Arenado type play at third, or he puts together one of the worst performances at third base ever. There's no in between. With Rhys, you see flashes where he saved the game the other day at first base making an incredible play, yet here's a simple ground ball down the first base line, and he botches it. It hits the inside of his hand. It goes towards second base, and he can't figure it out. But they're bad defenders. So knowing that they're poor at that spot, what do? Something inside of me says, Broads, you know they're bad, but also figure it the hell out, though. The alternative is figure it out. You're in Major League Baseball. Ground ball. Make the play. Or, hey, it's a rundown. It's a rundown. You know how many rundowns I've been in my life? Many. It's simple. It's not hard. That's not something that should be mind-blowing. You're not doing an algebra equation in your head while you're trying to run a man down. But then you move forward and you think about the other mistakes. The Adam Hasty mistake. He's a great defender. So when a great defender makes a mistake, how are you supposed to feel? You know they can be better. And you know Adam Hasley's time is limited. So how? How? For him to be not mentally prepared that early in the baseball game, not that the time matters. The game only intensifies as the innings go by. But it's the first inning. You got back in the lineup. You're having a ton of injuries in the outfield with Jay Bruce, Roman Quinn. You got to figure it out, right? You're going to be playing out there, right? Let's go. Be better. I mean, it's that simple. Be better. While Dominic Smith has 4 hits, Alonso 3 hits, the home run he murdered off Aaron Nola was insane. That thing was smacked. There he is, dropping the bat, pointing to the dugout. As soon as the Phillies tied at 1-1, he responds the next inning with a legit bomb. I'm really upset because it didn't live up to the hype. I wanted 7, 8 strong innings but from both sides. Nola, even though the stat line, when you look at it, 10 strikeouts, it wasn't that way, though, because the game was not even close. It was a blowout. The Mets continued to score runs because of the Phillies making mistakes. And Aaron Nola did make a couple mistakes, and the Mets definitely made him pay for it. But they were solo home runs. The game wouldn't have been an obnoxious blowout if the only mistakes were the couple home runs by Aaron Nola. The problem was everything else, but it didn't live up to the hype. I'm not saying that Aaron Nola was bad, but when you go up against a Jake Degrom, I do think you need to be better, but you need to be better all around. It was a poor team effort, and it sucks. It sucks. I wanted 7, 8 strong innings from both sides. a clean game. Nobody could barely get any hits. Let's say it's the 8th inning. Both team has 3 hits maybe, right? 3 hits, and both guys are firing off. Here's Aaron Nola using that changeup effectively, getting a ton of swing and misses, maybe even establishing the fastball a little bit earlier than he did, and me getting down on my knees going, yeah, baby, let's go win that inning, and then expecting some of the top guys for the Phillies to answer the next inning, even though I would know that they wouldn't because it's going to be so tough, and there's Degrom coming out of the windup, and going that crazy during this game, and instead it was, you gotta be kidding me, this is disgraceful. That's what I got. And when you see these flashes, this happens too much. These type of games, they happen too much out of the Phillies. Sometimes this happens, right? You lose by a lot. It's a blowout. You're not involved. That's how baseball works because you play every damn day. But sometimes it happens because it happens, and then sometimes it's self-inflicted. And these self-inflicted losses, it happens too much for the Phillies. And that's the difference between being a real team and being what the Phillies are. And I think the Phillies are exciting. They're fun. Their lineup can be lethal when you're not facing Jacob Degrom. But they're still missing something. They're not a complete package. They're intriguing. I enjoy them. But they are missing something. And when you look at what this team is defensively, you can't win anything serious with this. But then the problem is, we talk about this a lot. How many bad defenders do we have that we talk about throwing into the DH position? You have too many of them. You can't have 9 DHs. That would be lovely, but you can't. By the way, I have a new partner who I'm planning to do some cool stuff with throughout the season. I'm teaming up with Philly's own Stateside Vodka. Stateside is the fastest growing craft spirit in Pennsylvania and the first vodka on the market to actively hydrate the consumer with an electrolyte composition. What's better than this? Stateside is headquartered in Old Kensington, Philadelphia. It's 7 times distilled, certified gluten-free, and top-of-the-line premium vodka. You know I'm supporting Phil. You know I love supporting Philly and locally owned businesses, which is why I'm so excited about Stateside Vodka. So next time you're thinking about buying Tito's, which operates in Cowboys country down in Texas, think to yourself, do I love the Eagles or do I love the Cowboys? We know the answer. There's no better vodka than Stateside. It's award-winning and Philly produced. Go to statesidevodka.com for 10% off the best vodka out there with promo code BROADS on pickup or delivery. Yes, they deliver to counties of Philadelphia, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, Bucks, Westmoreland, and Allegheny. Promo code BROADS, 10% off Stateside Vodka. There's no doubt that this game to close out the series is monstrous. You can't allow a dip of a 3-game losing streak. You can't. And something tells me that's exactly what's going to happen because that's what this team is. That's what they do to us. That is what they consistently do to us. They get us sucked in. Here we go, and then they break our hearts. So I just pray that Zach Wheeler can put together a really strong performance because, well, we've seen him be very successful, and I think that they have the possibility to do it, but they need the bats to wake up. Let's go. We've been giving Bryce a free pass because of how he started out and because everybody else stepped up and they were big-time players during that stretch. Well, hold on a second, Bryce. I think it's time. All right, you do get a free pass because you are Bryce Harper, and we get it when you come out and you swing at the high clip that you did. It's understandable that you'll cool off to a degree, but now the cool-off's too much. Now the cool-off has been freezing cold. You're stuck in the freezer. It's time to take the next step here. It's time to figure it out. Now, he did get the hit early in the game, and then he stole a couple bases, so sometimes it's just that. Sometimes it's a little thing that gets your spirit up, and it changes the outcome of the next couple weeks. Sometimes all it takes is that. So he got that hit. It was off Degrom. From there, maybe, just maybe, that's enough. It was clear that after that hit, though, it wasn't as if he was able to get much more going. Nobody really could. I was waiting to see how Alec Boehm would look up at the plate because we've been praising how professional he looks and how great he is at the plate. Not that I'm ripping him for not having a ton of success against Degrom, but that's a good learning point. That's a big learning curve for him. I want to see what he can do against that type of talent. well, he might need a little more practice against that type of talent, which is okay. And when I say I'm talking about Degrom here, he makes a lot of people look silly. And he made the Phillies look silly. Imagine having that, though. Imagine having that. And they don't grow on trees. I'm not saying they do. But when I talk about Aaron Nola being a top number 2 and being able to maybe throw a number 1 in there, that's my dream. That's my dream. Having a Degrom, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler. That's the type of talent I think wins. Now, they're not easy to get, and they're not accessible, and people don't throw them around and trade them around because when you get one of those studs, guess what? You keep them. Hopefully, Sixto Sanchez is not that, also known as the 2020 Pedro Martinez. That's the name being thrown around. Uh-oh, I can't get him out of my mind. I think about him every single day. I think about him every night. But that being your number 1, it's so special. And to think he's going to waste his entire career with the New York Mets. God bless him. I wouldn't want to do that. A dumpster fire of an organization. We want to rip apart some franchises here in Philadelphia. I don't think anything competes with the Mets and how ridiculous they are and how pathetic they are as an organization. Although, 5 years or so ago? Wow, 5 years. They made it to the World Series, which is unbelievable to think that they could actually do, that they could figure that out, put their brain together, and put together a team that can compete at that level. The thing is, with the Mets, it's not like their roster on paper is some trash bag situation. They could never just actually win. And they had holes, and they had some flaws. I'm not saying they had this perfect LA Dodgers type roster, but for some of their records over the years, I would say that their talent on paper should be playing out better on the field. The product should be better, and they can never seem to do it. I guess you can argue with what the Phillies have been over the last couple of years in the same boat. They had decent talent, and they could never put it together. But look, if I'm comparing the Phillies to the Mets in terms of where they are in their organizations and saying that it's similar on the results, then the Phillies have a big-time problem. I like where the Phillies are headed, but they got to clean this stuff up. This is losing baseball. This is Baltimore Orioles type stuff. Now, it's hard for me in this specific game to scream at the offense insanely because the track record of Jake Degrom is this is what he does. He gets 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. He dominates the game. He doesn't allow a lot of earned runs. So this is what happens when you go up against great talent. Here is the thing, though. This is the type of pitching you see when games intensify. Now, this year's a little wonky. With the playoffs, you're going to get a lot of teams that probably are not playoff teams, and you have the first-round series of the 3-game series. Things have changed, but, there are players out there like Jake Degrom. Degrom does seem to be on a different tier, I'm not going to lie, but you'll see phenomenal starting pitching when games intensify if you make the postseason, and you got to find ways to produce some runs on him, and the only way of producing runs can't be Andrew Knapp. If the answer is Andrew Knapp, you're in some big trouble. So I just ripped Bryce Harper a bit for being so cold. Hey, it's time to wake up. You too, JT. You too. They've been bad. Really bad. And I thought JT would have a day off soon. He needed it. No doubt he needed it. But let's go. Let's go. It's over. The whole, okay, look, they're cold. It's over. You had your time to be cold, which is okay. I'm allowing it because I've watched plenty of baseball. This is how baseball works. But there's a time where you don't get the free passes anymore, and your top dogs need to start producing. Hey, you're our top dogs, in case you were wondering. So put it together. Come to the ballpark with whatever different thing you want to do, whatever cleat you want to put on first. Let's go. Because I'm done with it. You better win the game at Wheeler. I don't feel good about it because I know what this team does to me. But you better win the damn game. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.